Join me as I dive deep into the world of GMOs and put their safety to the test. Can I uncover the truth about whether they're really safe for us to eat? Genetically modified organisms, often referred to as GMOs, are plants or animals that have undergone a significant transformation in their genetic makeup through the use of genetic engineering technology. This cutting-edge method enables scientists to incorporate new characteristics into an organism, such as the ability to withstand pests or diseases, or even the capacity to tolerate extreme weather conditions. With the increasing usage of GMOs in our food supply chains, a wealth of questions has been raised regarding their safety and authenticity. Do these genetically modified foods pose any hazards for human consumption? Is it possible for these organisms to negatively impact our health and well-being? As a result of extensive research and scrutiny, it has become evident that GMOs pose no more than minimal risks to human health when consumed in moderation, while also being beneficial in certain cases. However, it is essential to recognize that while GMOs have several advantages over their conventional counterparts, they are not without their drawbacks. For instance, the potential for antibiotic resistance in GM crops may lead to the overuse of antibiotics in agriculture, which ultimately endangers human health. Moreover, GMOs can also compromise the ecosystem by introducing invasive species or modifying natural habitats. After all, GMOs have actually turned out to be pretty safe and super helpful for switching out the old-fashioned gardening stuff. Just use them a bit and pay attention to how they affect you and the environment. Sure, there are some worries and concerns about the stuff's potential impact on our health and the planet, but we gotta keep checking all the research and taking things step by step to make sure they're secure and bring good outcomes for everyone. One of the most significant concerns regarding GMOs is the potential risk they pose to our health. A great number of individuals are concerned about the possible output of altering genes, including unknown toxins or allergens, as well as the long-term effects that consuming GM foods could have on our well-being. Another major concern is the environmental impact of GMOs. For example, many GMO crops are designed to be resistant to certain pesticides, which could lead to the overuse of these chemicals, harming beneficial insects and contaminating our soil and water. Then there's the issue of labeling. Many people want to know whether the food they're buying contains GMOs, but currently, there's no standardized labeling system in place. Some critics of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, also raise concerns about the issue of patents being held by large corporations. They argue that this gives these corporations considerable control over seeds, potentially affecting small-scale farmers significantly. This has led to debates and discussions about the potential impact on the diversity of our food supply and the welfare of small-scale farmers. Additionally, there are worries expressed about the possibility of GMOs' contamination of non-GMO crops or wild relatives, leading to unintended consequences. These concerns have resulted in heated debates and protests taking place around the globe, with a few countries even banning the use of GMOs at all. On the other hand, numerous experts strongly believe that GMOs are safe and possess the potential to significantly enhance our food supply. They frequently refer to studies that have consistently demonstrated no detrimental evidence associated with consuming GMOs, and emphasize that these advanced crops can effectively contribute to addressing some of the most critical global concerns, such as world hunger and climate change. For instance, GMO crops can be specifically designed and developed to be more resilient against drought or flooding conditions, rendering them even more reliable and secure in environments with uncertain weather patterns. Furthermore, GMOs can be engineered to produce a higher quantity of essential nutrients or vitamins, making them an invaluable and beneficial tool in the fight against malnutrition and improving the overall health and well-being of populations globally. Nevertheless, a number of scientists have expressed concerns about the insufficient long-term safety testing and the potential for unintended consequences. For instance, a study conducted by one group found that a specific variety of GM corn had caused tumors in laboratory rats. Although this study has experienced considerable dispute within the scientific community, it has not been entirely discredited. Another study also observed that GM crops could be contributing to a decline in the populations of monarch butterflies. Although these studies do not establish a direct causal relationship between GMOs and any dangerous outcomes, they do serve as a reminder of the importance of enhanced research efforts and a continued commitment to cautionary measures. In 2012, the French newspaper Le Monde published a study by French scientist Gilles-Éric Seralini, which found that GMO corn caused cancer in lab rats. This study sparked widespread controversy and was highly publicized, leading many to question the safety of GMOs. Nonetheless, the investigation was more recently retracted by the journal that had originally published it, and a considerable number of experts have questioned the methodology utilized and the outcomes arrived at. Despite this, the study remains an essential turning point in the ongoing GMO debate, underscoring the necessity for further research and increased transparency in the scientific process. So, what can we generally conclude about the safety of genetically modified organisms, GMOs? While there are indeed valid concerns about their potential negative impact on our health and the environment, the scientific consensus among experts is that GMOs are generally safe to eat. However, it's important to note that there are specific instances when caution should be exercised, and more research needs to be completed to fully understand the effects these organisms can have on our bodies and the environment. Despite the growing concerns, it is clear that the scientific evidence to support the safety of GMOs is overwhelming, and the benefits they bring to agriculture and food production are significant. For instance, GMOs have significantly reduced the use of harmful pesticides and herbicides, which ultimately benefits both the environment and human health by reducing exposure to potential toxins. Additionally, GMOs may provide an opportunity to introduce new and resilient crops that can tolerate various environmental conditions, which can help secure food security and combat global food shortages. As for labeling and regulations regarding GMOs, there has been a growing push for better awareness and communication. It is essential for consumers to be able to make informed decisions about the food they consume, knowing that GMOs may contain unknown elements. To achieve this, it's critical to have transparent labeling that clearly communicates the presence of GMOs, as well as to implement effective regulations that ensure responsible production and use of GMOs. In short, while we acknowledge and strongly consider the potential risks associated with GMOs, we also need to recognize the significant benefits they bring to agriculture and food production, and that more research and further labeling improvements can help address any potential concerns. By maintaining a balanced perspective and following evidence-based approaches, we can ensure the safety and responsible use of GMOs, contributing to global food security and sustainable development. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on GMOs in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about food safety, be sure to check out my next video, where I'll be exploring another fascinating topic in the world of food.